taking everything today. Top water.
Got him. Got him.
She ate it. So we decided to come back to the Milne Dam, our little river carp spot. Matt really wanted to hook up with a carp, so I promised I'd take him out to the spot and see if I could hook him in. All I had to do was tell him where they were in the general vicinity, and he had no problem hooking me into his first carp. He was really excited to catch it, and I'm glad that my spot didn't make me into a liar. So he was able to get on a fish, and it was great.
Yes.
For those of you who are afraid to target carp, don't be. In my opinion, the best thing to do is just to keep it simple at first. Just put a couple pieces of corn on a hook. You could even use night crawlers or bread. I caught my last carp at Milne Dam on a piece of hot dog bun.
Cheers.
Chumming also helps, and the more people you got at the spot
Let's get another, eh?
also helps.
Back at her.
So after we left the Rouge River / the Milne Dam, we decided we wanted to get onto some bass, and as soon as we got to the spot, I decided to throw around some jerkbaits because the only thing I had that resembled a perch was a Rapala jerkbait, so I tied that onto some spinning gear and I threw it in there. Thanks, buddy. Hey. First one on the jerkbait. When you're fishing a jerkbait, all you have to do is give it a couple tugs. You can experiment with different patterns like twitch, pause. But to be honest, as long as you are jerking the jerkbait and you're pausing every once in a while, you're still going to get some hookups. It's a very, very lethal lure, so give it a try.
He's a little guy. Oh yeah. He got very hooked. Very hooked. Yeah.
Second one of the day. Beautiful little guy.
There are countless styles, colors, weights of jerkbaits. Don't be afraid to buy them and experiment. Just make sure that your rod can handle the weight of the jerkbait. If you're going to buy one for a bait caster, make sure you got a bait caster. If you're going to want to buy little ones, make sure you've got a spinning rod. But in terms of the species of fish, I've never seen so many fish hit one lure. You can catch trout on them, you can catch pike on them, you can catch bass on them, you can catch everything on them.
He spat that one.
Here's a good example of the patterns that bass will hit. You can just work the jerkbait any way you want, twitch, pause, but as long as you have that pause, the pause is key. And 3/4 of the time, what happens is when you stop jerking the jerkbait, when you stop tugging on it, what the lure does is it floats back up to the top like a dead fish would. As soon as you engage the action of the lure again, it'll sink back to the bottom, and what it does is it replicates a dying bait fish. With the BBs inside the jerkbait, that's what entices the bass. If they can't see it, they'll hear it and they'll come in, and as soon as they see that pause and as soon as they know that fish is susceptible to being eaten, they'll decide the fate of that lure. So don't be afraid, again, to grab a jerkbait and throw it around, play around with it. So if I've got any beginner fishermen that are scared to throw jerkbaits, frogs, spinners, chatterbaits, any lure that you could potentially lose and then you're losing like $8 to $14, my suggestion is to start off with a spinnerbait.
Oh, I'm a liar, I guess. Oh my god, no I'm not.
Almost worked.
These guys fighting me hard.
He's not happy. Oh, he's solid too.
Yeah. Yep, that's amazing. Yep, that's a nice fish. Nice fish.
It's the easiest bait to use. All you do is cast it out and retrieve it, and you rip it through any weeds that it ends up getting hung up on, and it is a bass slayer. So I'll just let you guys watch the bass dealing with my spinnerbait right now. Funny story, I was going through one of my dad's old tackle boxes that he had in the garage, and I found this like spinnerbait from maybe the early 90s, and its skirt is all like stale and disgusting, and it was still just hammering off fish like crazy. So yeah, just try spinnerbait, man. You'll end up hooking up eventually.
You know what's funny? You remember the ball?
Alright, I'm just gonna cast one more time and then we'll hit the back pond.
Now spinnerbaits are a lot like jerkbaits in terms of them causing reaction strikes, But the spinnerbait does a really good job of causing reaction strikes without you having to do much to the lure except for reeling it in. When you're reeling in a spinnerbait, it has a blade on the side which is causing a lot of water displacement, which bass hate, and they seem to be able to tune in really quick on a spinnerbait, and they decide to eat it 3 out of 4 times. So it's one of my go-to lures if nothing else is working, so try it out.
Don't jump around on me.
Oh, he's solid.
Yeah, he's a nice one.
How's that for a last cast fish? Oh, here's another one. Yeah, last cast before we hit the back pond. This guy came out and he decided he wanted to eat my
1800-year-old spinnerbait.
Guys, I can't stress it
Yeah,
enough.
me too.
That pause is the most important part of bass fishing.
That'll slay here. Oh, he took it right there. That was so sick. Yo, this guy came out of nowhere.
Even pike fishing, both bass and pike love that pause so much. So just remember that if you're working a lure, give it a couple seconds to just chill out, and it'll give the bass or the pike a couple seconds to decide whether or not they want to eat it.
Dive. That. Don't worry, I'm not gonna get it.
Although it might not be a good idea to cast around here, it might think it's good. Follow this.
Yeah. Come on, keep going, keep going. Fuck off.
I would make this a little slip. It's just like offside. It's not okay. Imagine you find the. There's like 3 of them there.
Yeah, and they're all following each other. That's a nice size one for in here. Oh no, it's just regular fish for him.
Not often, but you used to be able to see them even rooting around in the dirt. I'm pretty sure they're channel crabs because they have deeply forked tails on them.
Yeah.
Oh wow. He didn't really fight at all, he just skimmed.
I did that to him. All right, one more in the spinnerbait. Tiny little bit.
Maybe so.
Oh, this guy is. Oh my gosh.
Who's that?
Holy, this guy. That guy fought. That guy was beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Little.
Yeah, he is.
Fight.
Yeah, he's trying to go down.
Splash at him. He just extended his.
Anyways guys, thank you so much again for viewing. Just make sure to like and subscribe to the video and stay tuned for more fishing.